Good news, everyone. After 11 months of repairs, the Urfa Museum is reopening to the public, and no trip to southern Anatolia is complete without a visit to this unique institution. Not only is it the hub of the Taş Tepe project, of which Göbekli Tepe is the most famous site, it is also a treasury for the very best finds in the area. So let's jump right into the goodies, and I'll explain some background afterwards. But first up, fair warning, one of these is a bit spicy, a piece of Stone Age graffiti. But your tour begins with Urfa Man, the oldest life-size human sculpture ever discovered. He may just be the earliest evidence of ancestor worship. Some researchers interpret the neckpiece as an exposed collarbone, and combined with the prominent genitalia, then we have a very lively dead person. Speaking of ancestor worship, you want Jericho skulls? Because we got like 10 of them. I was stunned by the number and variety of stone sculptures. I also noted a majority seem to come from Karahan Tepe. Some are truly spectacular, like this human figure carrying a beast on his shoulders. Just imagine the story there. And a map of the Tepele sites forms the backdrop. They found enough of these sculptures to build a contemporary display. And if we pause there for a moment, I've got this recent photo from the Anatolia Agency. If you look in the top right corner, it appears to be the recent boar statue excavated from Göbekli Tepe. Certainly has pride of place. A sleeper hit for me is this chunk of terrazzo floor. It's from one of the enclosures, and documentaries will touch on its construction, but here you can examine the makeup in detail in this really close cross-section. The museum does a great job of putting the project in context. I like this diorama showing different stages of the dig. It also helps explain why Göbekli Tepe theories evolve over time. These gentlemen demonstrate how the T-pillars were chiseled and moved. Working with stone is obviously a cultural specialty, although that may be biased because it's mostly all that survives today. Best full-size model must go to the recreation of Enclosure D. Göbekli Tepe being a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it sees a ton of foot traffic. Unfortunately, that means staying on the boardwalk. This exhibit gives a bit of the interior experience, which I suspect many of us crave. Okay, here's the only female depiction at Göbekli Tepe. It's quite crude and was found in one of the square outlying buildings. It is ancient, but dates later, certainly after the main period of habitation. Archaeologists currently consider this graffiti. But just tell me, what scenarios can you imagine left as this piece of art? Finally, my favorite feature of the museum is up in this corner. Here we have Navali Chori. It's not a reproduction, it's the actual communal building rescued during the emergency excavations. You can see how original T-pillars are integrated with the later square floor plan. And this was the first discovery for the Taş Tepe sites. It's what started this whole story. I almost guarantee you a quiet moment of contemplation with this prehistoric ritual site. Imagine giving a speech to different clan members clustered around on the benches. And 10,000 years later, here we are. The full name of the building is the Şanlıurfa Archeologyt Museum. And while there are artifacts from the Bronze Age to the Byzantine era, which I've completely neglected here, the focus is on Taş Tepe. And that's important because tourism is exploding at Göbekli Tepe. Karahan Tepe is not far behind. A walk through the museum paints a beautiful picture of the ancient past. I definitely bet you're going to be doubling back as you explore. Before I go, here's a unique view of Şanlıurfa. I took this photo from the base of the castle, which is unfortunately still closed. The desert oasis named the Balıklıgöl is in front, with old Urfa in the background. This massive building on the left is the museum. It's the largest and most modern building in the city, so damage from the earthquake was minimal. However, it is built on the lower level and suffered during the later flood. Fortunately, nothing was permanently damaged. Nonetheless, a big inconvenience to anyone who visited Göbekli Tepe this year. But hey, talk about a good excuse to go back. My intent is to get you a new video every 7 to 10 days, and feel free to ask a question because I can probably work it into the schedule. Next time we're doing something a little bit different, but until then, remember, you can subscribe and there's only 99 spots in the double digits. But thanks for watching.